Welcome to the Game Within the Game, the Reggie Walker podcast. My name's Marty Wolner, and I'm grateful and I'm honored to have this conversation with former NFL star Reggie Walker. Reggie, oh, it's so good to see you and talk to you, and congratulations on your new book. After reading this book, I was so inspired, and I just wanted to get right into it with you. You and I have known each other for some time now, and we've been talking about your intention about writing the book, and then you finally were able to do that. When I saw it, it almost brought tears to my eyes, Reggie. I had to say congratulations. It must have felt great.
Oh man, it definitely felt great. Yeah, so much hard work went into it. People wouldn't even believe it. But getting it to this point, was no feat of my own. I had a lot of help getting here, and thank goodness I was even in this space to take it. So I'm really blessed in that matter.
So the game within the game, I know you've had quite a journey throughout your certainly college and professional football career, and you certainly got a lot of wisdom, gained a lot of wisdom and insight, not only about the physical demands and aspects of the game, but also the mental part of it as well. And I was just so inspired of that piece of it within the book of really helping young people, young athletes understand the mental piece of football or any sport.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was really easy for me to pick that as a focus for the book because uh, what to focus on, how to focus on, and how much attention you need to give certain things. It's just so vital in an environment in which ooh, we edit
Oh, you
that
got
out.
your little man there. He's
Yeah,
helping
but
out.
no, it's knowing what to focus on is essential when you're in an environment filled with toxic stress. Plus, there's just so much on the line, and it's so easy to have one little hiccup just have a devastating impact on your life. So it was really easy to pick that as a focus.
So, in terms of your journey, and I know a lot of people, they have this intention about wanting to write the book and the story and get involved in that. But what really motivated you to take that final step and really to put your stories and thoughts and your wisdom and insight into writing? What motivated you to finally do that, Reggie?
Whew, knowing that there's a lot of people that needed this information, um, especially given while I was writing the book, I was going through it. I was mentally, physically, just exhausted. I was done. And I was really depressed and suicidal most of the time I was writing it. But I knew that kids who were going to get into college athletics and had dreams of going pro, or people who just didn't have a structure for success, they needed to know what I know. So what I did was I made sure that I got the job done, and it was a really brutal process actually, like writing the book. But it actually saved my life because it gave me purpose, it gave me reason, it helped me to start, going step by step in my own healing journey. So, that's also what people are reading too.
And it sounds like it was quite an emotional journey in terms of connecting with the stories and the memories of what went on during those times. But I so appreciate what you were saying about the need for this information to be out there for young athletes. And, you and I have talked many times before about the powerful voice that you can have, being so resilient and going through that journey. And now, emerging from the other side and being much more in terms of mentally tough. You have a full family, and your life has kind of blossomed that way. And to be able to give back to young athletes and be able to share your wisdom and insight is truly a gift. And talking about that need, when we think about the young athletes and what they have to go through, especially athletes that may have experienced trauma or may have less than healthy relationships around them. And in terms of understanding and attuning to that, Reggie, this book certainly really speaks to them in that voice. And I know you have a lot of interaction with young athletes, and it feels like it's an important time to be able to reach out to athletes that they're going through a lot and dealing with a lot, and it just seems like the right time to be sending this message.
Oh yeah, most definitely, especially since we all saw, what went on with Simone Biles, and then even her coming out and saying that, she wished she didn't do the Olympics. It's one of those things where, a lot of people are now really coming to terms and really seeing firsthand, because of the bravery of a lot of athletes, how rigorous the job is in itself, and the effect of the job has just doing it day by day. It's a real brutal job, whether it's the job of an athlete, that is. So, I'm glad that there's been a lot of people that have been in the forefront and been speaking out about a lot of these issues that pertain to athletes, and really helping the public become aware that, the environments that these athletes are in need a lot of work. Need a lot of work.
Even the title of the book, Reggie, The Game Within the Game. I mean, we see from the outside as a spectator and observer, the ups and downs and the thrills and the emotional ride of playing team sports. And certainly when you get into college and professional sports, there's a lot more going on there. But the game within the game, when you're an athlete and you're in the middle of it, there's a lot more going on mentally than we could ever know from the outside.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because, that was something that I wished while I was going through it, that I just had someone that could relate to me, to just help me understand how to do this job. How should I be viewing my coaches, and how should I attack that relationship with my coach? Like, how do I form common ground in the relationships that I need to cultivate in this environment in order for me to be successful? How do I manage having two full-time jobs as a student and an athlete? How do I manage this? And how do I even go about, like, what's the first thing I got to do? What are the basics? The basics to just being a successful athlete, as well as using what I've learned in this environment and then transitioning that knowledge to help you in regular life, because I feel that's like one of the last pieces that, being, I've worked jobs, I've done a lot of things since in retirement, and the thing that I've noticed is there's so many things I learned in a sports environment that were absolutely critical and key elements as to why I am a successful entrepreneur. You know, and these are all things that a lot of kids know and they've worked on and honed these skills over time, but they just don't know how to translate it over. And I really do believe at the end of the day, it's a confidence thing, because you haven't had the reps, you could say, at doing things outside of the field or the court or whatever. You you haven't done it, you haven't experienced it, so you're not really confident in it. So you have to have people like me be able to, like, help form that bridge, like, bro, it's just like this, it's just like that. um in order for, more people to just transition over successfully.
And I hear you say a lot about relationships. I know that
Mm.
was a big part of it, and understanding that within the team sports environment, there's a great opportunity for relationships between peers, between athletes themselves, but also between coaches and athletes, and the special opportunity that teams and coaches and players have during that sports experience. And there's so much wisdom and insight in the book with your stories, and really connecting with a lot of the struggles that athletes go through. And I even appreciate in the summary of the book how it's not only about surviving the sport, but thriving in the sport, and really
Right,
having that mental toughness and that mental edge.
right, because, because that so applied to myself, because I felt as if, you know at times you just have to just survive. You're just swimming, you're paddling water, and it is what it is. But still coming out and thriving as often as you can, whenever you can, and as yourself, most importantly, because, not really getting lost in the business side of things or the political side of things. You can keep yourself and understand how to use your strengths to overcome that game within the games, which is the political side, the mental side, the emotional side, the side that most people don't talk about, which is really, in my opinion, the most important part. And when it comes to this, more important than being a very strong physical athlete, mentally being tough and mentally being able to handle all the things you're going to handle in an environment that has many pitfalls.
And I know that there's literally hundreds and thousands of high school athletes and college athletes that really need to kind of dial in to exactly what you're suggesting, and some of that stuff that's the inside game, and really that only an athlete could really connect to in terms of the struggles and challenges of what they're going through. And this is so important, Reggie. And I know, our intention for this podcast is to break down the book and talk about a lot of the issues. So we'll get more specifically into it. But I wanted to speak more today with you now about really spreading the message and the word. And I know you have so much going on and so much exciting things going on. And you just shared with me that they're creating an accredited course called The Game Within the Game at the Forbes School of Business. Tell me more about that.
Oh yeah. So there's a course now. It's created off the book. It's in the Knowledge and Innovation Center in Forbes Business School. And um it's really just really sick because now kids get can understand what they're getting themselves into before they get into it, and understand how to be successful in this type of environment, or really anyone who just needs a structure for success. They can get equipped with that before they get to college, and they can get college credit for this class. It's really awesome because high schoolers can take it and get college credit, college kids can take it, adults can take it, and the knowledge in it really applies to everyone. But I really think that a lot of kids going from high school to college or already in college, it will really get the most out of it.
And I'm also hearing it'll transfer into leadership. So even for non-athletes, they could also get something out of that as well.
Oh yeah, understanding team dynamics, how to delegate, just lots of great things that you're going to use in business, that I use in business every day, as well as many other successful people use that. It just applies to everyone, and I think a lot of people would understand that and vibe with the information.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Reggie. And again, we're going to be talking more about the book and breaking that down in terms of your stories and your journey, and really connecting with perhaps some of the struggles of young athletes. And again, congratulations on this book. It's just awesome. And again, I was almost brought to tears with some of the stories.
Oh man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's The Game Within the Game, the Reggie Walker podcast. Thank you. We're grateful. I'm Marty Wolner.